Welcome back, traders. How are we doing today? We have a banger of a video for you guys where we are going over 3 stocks and potentially an index as well in this video. And whoa, AMC, whoa. Look at that pop in volume and price. We're going to get there. I will timestamp all the different stocks below, but before I start, if you found value in this video, slap a subscribe button, subscribe to the channel because we are here every single day covering this stuff. Donate whatever you want to contribute to this bedrock foundation of a community. Let's get into Nio stock here because Nio stock saw a little bit of a rejection candle, but is already making that up in after hours, up 3.9% or 3.09%. Let me not inflate the numbers there, right? And I wanted to kind of show you the price as well as some of the news. I see a lot of people talk about this fraud lawsuit. I'm not personally worried about it because you see Nio is continuing to deliver record high deliveries. And that's an amazing thing for the company, right? You want to continue to get your brand awareness out there, cut costs, and grow your top line sales. Inevitably, that will bring you profitability no matter the market you're in, right? So cutting costs, growing top line sales. That is going to be the key delivery that will bring Nio profitable. Just kind of curious. I want to peek at this. All right, Nio stock. Welcome back from the last video we made, guys. Nio stock had a overall red day today, but that is not surprising considering you had 1, 2, 3 green days in a row in which you closed at the high of the candle. I mean, this is a very good sign of a swing in bullish momentum. However, the 3 bullish candles came on 3 lowering volume candles. And so I personally spoke to people in the comments, and I'm very active in the comments, saying, I don't know how to feel about this. Like, the candle closes are amazing, but if it just came with more volume, I would be more convicted in the short term. Long term, nothing's changed, right? But in the short term, you dropped this uptrend, and you've seen a potential swing down in bearish price action. Now, we don't have a long way to go. Honestly, we don't. In terms of immediate support, you have the mega trend line. If I zoom out here, I want to try to do it for you guys. The mega trend line on Nio stock, tapping it once on your bottom, twice, and now 3 times where you broke below and broke back in of this trend line. So, I mean, you have the trend line. You also have the bottom of your wedge support or your megaphone support, right? So I expect the wedge or megaphone support, the uptrend, and the 50-day EMA to act as a nice size support for a potential launch here before you find either a pinwheel of consolidation before you break or potentially break down from this uptrend and make a more elongated wedge pattern. Now, if this is a bullish megaphone like we were talking about, I would expect this pullback and then a freaking nasty launch. Because these megaphone patterns, once you get them going, guys, I mean, they're one of the best longs that you can make if it holds, and that's the big if, right? If it holds, you can see moves like this. Because the profit target from the megaphone pattern, in case you guys are not aware, is you just take the bottom wick to the top run, put it on top of the rebound or the breakout, and that would bring you up to 1072. Now, the beautiful thing about this pattern is the longer you trade within it, right, the more volatile the stock gets. So even if we don't rally here and we come all the way back down, well, now that ceiling has expanded. And if you come all the way back up here, guys, you break it, right? Theoretically, the difference between breaking here and here is your ceiling is now higher. And if you break that ceiling, your stock is going to 1260 opposed to 10. So something to monitor here. I don't like the breakdown from Nio today, but I don't think much of it because you look at the volume and it was one of your lowest volume days that you've had since, this was what? 35 mil. That was 40. So we're got to keep going. 36, 36, 27. So that was your lowest volume day since August 7th, 2025. And that's significant, right? Because it's coming in a location in which you have the 9-day EMA sloping down and the 50 sloping up. Eventually, this price will get pinwheeled and it will have to step either up or down. The Bears or Bulls will have to make a choice here of what it wants to do. Now, you also have a very unique situation here, how on the macro, you have this kind of shoulder, you have this kind of shoulder sloping head, potential right shoulder if you come down and tap this trend line. So if that were to happen, you have a potential breakout here of not just the inverse head and shoulders, but also this wedge. So very interested to see what happens there. Theoretically, that leads you to a double top in price action, but that is all hearsay, thearsay. We still have to watch this develop and see what it turns into, because it could be a megaphone, it could be a wedge, or it could just be a 3 rising valleys continuation, right? 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3. Because you got the taps on this trend line. So it's very interesting on Nio stock, but one thing remains the same, and that is that the macro chart has never been as bullish as it is right now, and that's because you haven't seen any significant swings down, you haven't seen any significant rejections. In fact, you're trading after a nice size launch into 771, you're trading on lower volume down. That is traditionally a very bullish sign here, in which you have this almost cup and handle formation that if you broke it, guys, and this was actually mentioned to me by a viewer, this cup and handle formation, if you broke this, you're talking an absolute full send up to 16. What is our price target there? 1634, or what is this wick? 1660, 1618. Right? Am I right on that? Yeah, 1618 is your wick to beat on Nio stock, because it's kind of beautiful how this move aligns, but you could also have this macro shoulder, head, shoulder. So bullish, bearish, it all ends up bullish, because even if you had the macro inverse head and shoulders here, right, that was your macro accumulation pattern before sending this thing to absolute Pluto. So I really, honestly, I don't see a bearish scenario on this chart. It just doesn't make sense to me. You have bullish continuation pattern after bullish continuation pattern, an inverse head and shoulders, a cup and handle. You have the 3 rising valleys. You have the 50-day EMA sloping up. Potential to cross the 200 on the weekly. Down sloping bearish volume, right? The story on this stock has yet to be told, but the signs are being painted in a way and in a manner in which that you can believe in the long-term trajectory of this stock without even seeing the financials. We don't go over the financials because they're not profitable yet, but you can see the trajectory in which institutions, the retail movement, and the company want to go, and that is up right now, at least, right? And so I'm anticipating upside if you can break and close, and this is crucial, if you can break and close above 771. And that has always been the goal, because you see just how dirty this freaking level has treated you over the last years, right? The last couple of years. A slap off of 771 here, down 10%. You saw a diabolical sell-off, and we're going to take that measurement. Diabolical sell-off, 60% off of 771. A bounce off of it, bounce off of it, and it acted as the absolute key to unlocking the bull doors onto the bull market for Nio stock. As you can see here, when you broke above it, nasty things ensued. Like just dirty, filthy things. 773% is no small move. And if you see that same kind of explosion in price, that is why I believe that Nio stock could be doing another one of these, right? If you break 771, it is such a crucial level on the stock, and the volume looks so nice here, guys. So just take into account, this is like watching nature, right? I mean, honestly, you're seeing the birds, you're seeing the deer, the doves are flying because your volume looks beautiful, your breakout is beautiful. And even if you reject $16, you have the opportunity to come all the way back down. Bear with me. To come all the way back down, retest 771 on this, where my cursor is. Look at this shoulder, head, potential shoulder. And if that were to happen, and because I have a knack for identifying these long-term macro accumulation patterns before they happen, you could see a breakout to the width and the range of $75. At least the price target brings you there, right? So fascinating stuff on Nio stock's macro chart. You need to continue this bullish momentum. And I think you will. Because you look at the further out macro signs, the quarterly MACD. I've covered this every single day because we continue to see this thing get closer and closer and closer to an inevitable squeeze and a cross above the zero line, just like you got back here, right? You see it cross on Nio stock. You see absolute boom, boom candles. And that's what we're waiting to see. This was your cross. This was your run. It's pretty much the full length, 3,000% run. And you can see similar confluence on stocks like Open, right? Just going to give you one example here. And this is my almighty example on Open. I mean, just look at it. Just look at the stupidness that ensues as soon as you see this quarterly MACD get a cross, right? And I'm not saying that this is guaranteed for Nio because it's not. It's absolutely not. But typically, when these macro indicators flash, you see institutions, hedge funds, retail, day traders all swing in, bots, right? And that creates an immense buying pressure in the stock. So I don't believe Nio is going to be any different. So I'm going to be continuing to watch this macro MACD flip. As for the 4-hour, you almost do have that inverse head and shoulders look on the 4-hour chart. And this break from after hours is kind of telling me that you've got it here. So theoretically, even if we took that to the breakout, you're going to 825 to make another local high. And in case you guys don't see it, I will outline it for you. This is your head or your shoulder, right? Head, shoulder, tiny shoulder, right? But when you break this horizontal resistance, and you're right there, you really are. When you break that at 703, that should give you the nice size launch needed to get above and hopefully close above 771. I know I'm very passionate right now because this is what Nio has to do, and I want to see it do it. I want to see Nio do the dirty and get above that price target. But IWM, we're not done with Nio, but IWM in a very interesting spot. We've been covering this recently because this is the index that really leads the small cap market and the risk on assets that qualify our AMC, GameStop, Nio stock, right? So you can see here you had the falling broadening wedge, take the breakout, that takes you to the price target. You had a retest, and then you left a gap here. And it's very interesting. Off of low volume, you left a gap, but it looks like you're going to come down and fill it while also making a local higher low. So once you do that, right, and this is why Nio might need a little bit more time to consolidate. is you're potentially still looking at a 1.17% on the index drawdown before you find a local higher low. And that's all we could really ask for here in this trading range, is a higher low before making another higher high. So that is Nio stock. I'm going to just do a little pan around, see if I missed anything. And I did. Nio stock, you can see this wedge formation forming. And this is something that I wanted to cover yesterday, but I totally blanked on covering it, because you guys have been absolutely amazing with donations and love, comments. I mean, we had seriously 60 comments in our last video. So continue to blow up the channel. We're almost at 1,000 subs, and we are truthfully acting as a movement within this community. So you can see on the RSI for Nio, you can see pretty significant 4-hour bullish div. And this was the same div that we had seen on Bitcoin before it made its pretty harsh reversal, seeing a 10% run, or I think it was a 6% run on Bitcoin, but a 10% run on Ethereum. But you can see this upsloping support on Nio. Now, you have not yet tested it, so you might come down here and then rally on Nio stock, but you have bullish div. So that's something to watch for going into the weekly close. Your volume is still low, so we need to see this pan out in order to have a better week close, right? Because you see this significant drawdown in price from 671 down to, what is this, 628, in which you perfectly filled this gap, like to the penny. Just look at that. Perfectly filled the gap, made a bullish div, and so now you're looking for that swing back up. But I would not be surprised to just see a little bit of hesitation in the pre-market, get this touch, and then rally. I want to see Nio stock back above the 50, because what you see here is bears potentially take a little bit of a win here after rejecting Nio from the 50 confirmation line on the RSI, which is so often used as a bullish and bearish confirmation, right? You see it here, you perfectly bounced, bounce, 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 reject, reject, reject. And then what happened once you rejected it so many times is eventually you went boom, right? You thumped. I know that's what Jimmy AMC people like to say, you thumped. So this was very, very nice and a good example of what could occur here if you create some kind of bullish triangle on the RSI, right? If you thump it again, and then you run into the bull zone, it did it here, right? So just for comparison, and I'd be curious, genuinely curious to see, did you make any kind of bull div here? Not particularly, no. Slightly, because this was significant high on the RSI, but almost an equal low on the RSI. So I guess you could say a bull div, but it was all about this uptrend. You end up rejecting here. Interesting. It's a good example of flipping old support as new resistance, right? So that's what we're watching on Nio stock. If you guys like the video, slap the sub, hit the like, and make sure to keep your notification bells on, because I'm posting here every single day, and it's easy to miss a video, but it's important for the day by day if you guys want to learn what Nio stock is doing, or at least keep up to date, right? Maybe learn's not the best word, but keep up to date on what this stock is doing on a daily basis and why it's doing it. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to hopefully help you guys understand the markets a little bit better, money flow and indicators, because I freaking love indicators. It's one of my big passions because they act as almost like a fortune teller. So God bless to each and every single one of you guys' families. Thank you for tuning in today, and I appreciate all the love and support that you guys have been giving me. The Nio community has been acting as one of the strongest and one of the most inclusive communities that I've ever been a part of. So thank you guys. I genuinely mean it. Yeah, I think that's all I got. I will see you guys in the next video, posting AMC GameStop next. So maybe a live stream too. We'll see. Peace.